Ah, listen to them. The creatures of the night. What sweet music they make. Hi there, folks. Welcome to tonight's second live stream. We're gonna live stream and listen to the Bloodborne soundtrack. We did a previous live stream listening into the Bloodborne soundtrack, but apparently we missed a few tracks. It's very hard to mash everything into one single stream. So tonight we're gonna have a look at some of the songs that we missed in the previous live stream. Say hi in the chat and welcome in everybody. If you're new here to my channel or old, please say hi and also let me know what's your favorite Souls game. And we might also take the question, what's the hardest PC or console game you ever played? Last time we had Ghosts and Goblins, and I actually forgot about that one. That's a really hard game. It's impossible. Ardom, hi there. Skalton, welcome. Bagrovici, welcome. Martin Martinez, welcome. Hi there. Where from? Your favorite is Bloodborne. It's a tie between Bloodborne and Elden Ring. Which of these did you think was the hardest? Unseen, that's awesome. Good to have you aboard my channel. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, and you can also see we have links to my Patreon and Discord channel if you want to hook up further and discuss more music. And yeah, we have a really sweet community talking game music and music production overall and everything. Hardest was Elden Ring. Skalton, did you play Sekiro? Final DLC was insanely hard. Took me 3 hours. Boom. Yeah. That's a hard one. Yeah, there's been a lot of people pushing me to play Bloodborne. I wish they would make a remake. Just to make it a little bit more update the graphical engine. Because now if you play, I'm playing like Ghost of Tsushima, and then you jump to some of these older games, it's like, what happened to the graphics? Right, so I think we're gonna begin with actually a track from the Bloodborne, the Old Hunters. We listen to Ludwig the Holy Blade, and we listen to Lady Maria. Bagrovici, thanks for subscribing. Good to have you. So you can also see we're having Bloodborne in the background here today. Yeah, my brother said Sekiro is very hard game. So maybe we can begin today listening to Laurence the First, Vicar. Let's take that one. And as always, you're free to shoot me any type of OSTs or songs you want me to take up maybe in a future live stream or something. Laurence the First, Vicar. Yeah, it's a really strong opening for this track, and with the choirs and everything. It's a really brutal introduction. Really love this one. I wish it just had more plays. I wonder why it doesn't have as many plays as the other tracks. It's definitely in par. Only this is the first minute with like the previous hits, so to speak, from the Bloodborne soundtrack. And these chords that we just heard, I really love those. And they are typically heard in black metal and death metal. Really cool, really lovely. Love those chords. So it's a D flat minor. Maybe I need to switch here. It's a D minor, D flat minor, to C minor, to E flat minor, to a D major. Really lovely atmosphere. But I'm not going to play too much here. Let's listen more to the track. What a dark atmosphere. Oh, isn't this giving you like instant Castlevania vibes? I actually haven't heard this track before, like many of the other tracks here from Bloodborne, but it's the first time I hear this one, and it's definitely giving me Castlevania vibes when we have the cello coming in here, the solo cello. Maybe it's the organ also. Awesome long sustained note there on the cello at the end. What a great track to begin a live stream with. Couldn't ask for a better track to start off a live stream with. What an amazing track. Really weird regarding the place here, because I actually feel that this one is definitely among the top tracks, the top tier tracks that I've heard from the Bloodborne soundtrack. They're in Spotlight. Welcome. Hi there. Good to have you aboard, neighbor from Norway. So what's your favorite Souls game? We have Bloodborne in the background. Yeah, I heard they put a lot of efforts into the lyrics of the Bloodborne soundtrack, not just putting together random words that we often get when people use lyrics in the choirs. The lyrics in this talks about the character in the second phase in his transformation, lore-wise, to the beast. He is awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely look up the lyrics and the contents of the lyrics. But yeah, it's really cool to use old Latin. Furiae. Fire. Fire. Ignis. Ignis Recero. Furiae. Exilium. Right, so next up we have no other track than a much requested track from you all. Thanks for suggesting this, The Living Failures. And sorry for not playing this in the previous stream, but it's really hard to cover so many tracks in one go. It's gonna be many hours. Yeah, the atmosphere in Bloodborne is really dark and eerie. Playing in fifths always give that medieval quality. Yeah, really great start on this track, and can't wait to hear the further build-up in the track. It's really great when we have trumpets in the tracks, and we talked about this before. It almost sounds like you're hit by a train when they blast on like that. Great brass work. talk about the majestic sound with the choirs blasting on like that and with the trumpets and everything. Very unique sound. Really love it. And of course, this would have been almost impossible to recreate with samples to get the same kind of like forte fortissimo blast with the vocals and the brass. So it's really great that they used really choirs and orchestra in the Bloodborne soundtrack. It's definitely raises the quality to like a totally different level. Yeah, indeed, the intro definitely sounded a little bit like Star Wars. It would have fit into Star Wars anytime, but maybe not these like later parts. Awesome track so far. Another banger. Really love that one. Yeah. Like you said, Skulton, very nice build-up in this theme. With all the layers they add from time to time. Until we get the climax. Yeah. Love that one. Again, what an amazing work from the choir and yeah. The orchestral work overall, it's just an amazing track. An amazing score, the Bloodborne. Okay, so next up, we listen to the Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. I remember that's a really cool track. Yeah, the choir is just next level here in Bloodborne. FK, thanks for joining in. And happy to hear you watched my previous Bloodborne stream. Awesome stuff. There's two favorite tracks for Laurence. I always turn down the boss sound effects to hear the song over the screaming. Yeah, I read somewhere people complaining about the level, the volume of the music within the game compared to sound effects. Because it's when you're in a boss fight, it's easier to like, it's gonna be easier to focus on the sound effects rather than the music because it's the level is just lower on the music. Compared to Clair Obscure, when you go into a boss fight, they have the volume like sky high. So you can't miss the music. So it's a bit sad because it's a lovely score in Bloodborne. They should definitely remix it, make a remaster. Yeah, and in Bloodborne the bosses scream so much. Yeah, Skulton. Okay, so next up we're gonna skip the Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. If you want to hear that track or see my reaction to the track and talk about it, you can watch the previous live stream. There's gonna be a link in the description from this VOD, video on demand, after the live stream to the previous stream. And while I'm at it, tomorrow on Wednesday we're gonna do a live stream on Final Fantasy VII Remake. And hopefully we have a little secret, and I can reveal it now. Hopefully we can have my brother Elrinth here. His name is Niklas Holmgren. He also have a YouTube channel called, his username is Elrinth. I'm gonna see his channel. I forgot the name. If it's the, it's just Elrinth. Anyways, but he's a very big Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy series fan. He knows all the themes from all the games. So we might do a little bit of a quiz, and I'm gonna test him to see if he can recognize the themes and say from which version of Final Fantasy the themes are from. A little cool little quiz. So I hope to get him on the stream tomorrow. We'll see if he can make it. It'll be a fun little episode. Yeah, so make sure you join in tomorrow, Wednesday, about the same time, because I have to tuck my smallest son to bed before the live stream. Tonight it was quite a long tucking time. He had a lot of thinking and questions to deal with. He's just a 4-year-old, so. Yeah, so next up we're gonna listen to Orphan of Kos. Kos. Is that the Greek place? Kos? It's such a dissonance with the soothing choirs and then this cluster chord below. Damn, listen to that. When I stop the music, all the dissonant sound effects in the background, it's like a huge atmosphere below the music, or below, it's like the same volume. That's really eerie and malicious. Very sinister kind of a mix and blend there between the sounds. Skalton, this is notoriously the hardest boss in the game. Yeah, I can bet. Dang, I really love how they mix the brass in this track and many of the other Bloodborne tracks. It's really like next level. They are really pushing you in the face. Really great sound. And yeah, the track begins like quite calm and then it builds into this monster. Really massive sound. Yeah, also a really epic track. FK, this part fits the pace of the fight perfectly. At some point he starts summoning lightning and the music kicks in and it's just brilliant. Yeah, what a track. Really massive and in your face. Really love the ostinatos in the cellos. And yeah, there's so many sounds and different melodies happening at the same time. Just great orchestration throughout the track and a really nice dynamic arc too throughout, I think. And yeah, it's really easy to like these tracks when there's happening stuff throughout the track, so you have this like dynamic arc or so. I really don't enjoy these tracks that are more like the same throughout, where we don't go somewhere. It has to be an adventure in the songs to be likable, at least. Or at least to me it's more easy to like a track if things happen. Orphan of Kos, probably one of FromSoft's best designed fights ever. Quite hard but very fluid and satisfying. Unseen. Thanks. Really awesome. Right, so we need to jump back here to the original soundtrack to find the tracks we missed last time. And I think that the last track we played was Celestial Emissary, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, let's have a look. Big thank to Belzebub for making the timestamps. Big thanks. I added the timestamps to the Bloodborne stream reaction. Because it's much easier for people, obviously, to find a specific track if they want to listen to a specific track in the soundtrack. So big thanks. There's a lot of things to juggle when you're live streaming like this and editing videos at the same time and yeah, taking care of the family and everything. So it's really good if we can have some people helping out here, at least with creating the timestamps. Yeah, so the last track was Celestial Emissary, then we did the first Hunter. Yeah, we played the Living Failures. Cyrene, welcome. Yeah, hope you liked the first part of our Bloodborne stream. Ebrietas, Daughter of the Cosmos OST. It's a very good one. Cool. Laurence, the first Vicar, we did that one in the previous one. Let's see. No, we did that first here in today's stream. Sorry. That's the track with the really cool. Yeah, I always get carried away when I start jamming. But we gotta have some fun during the streams, don't we? Laurence is my favorite boss fight, from the music to the lore. You think Tritons give a good help in convey power or impact? Yeah, it really depends on how you use that Triton. So it really depends on in what kind of context and how you're using it. Live composing some fun little tritone melodies here. Chromatic keys. Yeah, it's in horror scores you find a lot of like chromatic stuff happening. And yeah, I showed it in the previous stream, I think, or maybe prior to the Bloodborne stream, that if you just play anything in the bass region, let's just take C for example, but I only have 49 keys on this keyboard, but you can basically play anything on top and it's gonna sound ominous. Let's see here. And then you can just add like small flares or small melodies in there. Maybe something like that, or using that tritone. Breath of the Wild, anyone? Let's go to the minor third. And maybe the lower the fifth. And then back to the root. Yeah, so where were we? We were listening to Bloodborne. I actually have some other sounds in here too. But apparently I need to change some stuff here on the keyboard. Where are? Why don't we have sound? Always when you're gonna demo stuff. Yeah. Fun stuff. Locked in loading. Derail the conversation. No worries, Xyrem. We're here to have fun, listen to music and maybe make some fun music and learn something here on the way. Yeah, there's a lot to learn by listening to different kinds of music. Just to circle back on that chromatic chord progression. Right, so we are going to listen to Ebrietas, Daughter of the Cosmos. What a change here in this track, going from that almost ethereal, ambient, chill sounding part, and then to this malicious, sinister piece. And that's also a great little trick if you want something to sound even more sinister. Use, like they do in horror films, like a music box or something, which makes you think about kids. Eerie stuff going on there. And there's a really massive experience here also in all the sounds here in this orchestration. And again, the choirs makes a huge impact on the overall track here and the experience. If you just remove the choirs on an epic track like this, it's not going to be as epic. Only 50% is epic. The choirs is 50% of the epicness in any track. And it definitely reminds me a little bit of Gustav Holst, classical composer. And those of you who don't know Gustav Holst, you probably do, but if you don't know who Gustav Holst was, he basically gave birth to the Hollywood sound. And if you ever heard the soundtrack to Star Wars, which probably 99-100% of you guys have been doing, you've heard the inspiration from The Planets, which is one of the Gustav Holst suites. It really inspired many of the themes to the Star Wars themes. And they actually used the planets as a theme track to the Star Wars movie. So prior to John Williams scoring the Mars. So prior to John Williams scoring the Star Wars, they had a temporary music that they put on the film as temporary score to like get the feel for what they're gonna use in the film. So they had Gustav Holst, the Planets Suite. So if you haven't listened to Gustav Holst, definitely do that post the stream here, and you're gonna hear a lot of stuff that's used in Hollywood. And you can also hear a lot of the Planets score inspirations in the Bloodborne soundtrack, and like all other soundtracks. It's just a massive orchestration. Really love the Planets. I saw you react to a Laurence theme, definitely one of the best songs on the Bloodborne OST. The reason why it has less listeners than Ludwig's theme is because Laurence is pretty disliked boss. Aren't all bosses disliked? Just kidding. Yeah, I can totally understand it. It's very weird when you check the plays or the amount of plays for the different tracks, because many of the tracks that I really enjoy has a quite low play count. But yeah, that's how it is. Let's continue listening here, and not gonna babble too much. Again, a really massive ending. I love when they have these really huge and epic dramatic endings of the tracks. Really love it. I hated the attack where she fires arcane at me. Especially Living Failure's theme. Having inspiration from Gustav Holst's Mars, the Bringer of War. Yeah, there's a really lovely introduction in Mars, the Bringer of War. It's a really great album, obviously, to study if you're aspiring to be a film composer. And speaking of that, I actually have a film scoring for beginners course. If you just jump to edu.morningdewmedia.com, you can sign up to my education platform, Morning Dew Media Education, and you'll get a free film scoring for a beginners course. Maybe you're not aspiring to be a film composer, but you're interested in the craft and how you approach scoring films. And in that course, I go through a few different short films that I've scored, and yeah, how I approached different scenes and stuff. Laurence sounds a little too generic to me. Pogaka. People are saying Laurence was unfinished, but I think he's perfect. Yo, player. Okay, let's continue listening to Lullaby for Mergo. Really interesting instrument. Yeah, it sounds like a xylophone and some other instrument layered. There's two instruments. Yeah. Music box. Sounds like a soft kalimba. Can you hear those distant bells behind the upfront sounds? Yeah, listen to the bells in the background. They're like really far back in the hall, or the virtual hall. Yeah, they are probably put in some kind of like impulse response hall or something. Because it sounds like 100% wet reverb, so they are placed like very far back in a hall or something. It gives the track a very huge space, although there are only like 2 instruments. It's a really cool way of creating space in a track, having one upfront sound and then one sound really far back in the hall. Yeah, it sounds like they're using some kind of like maybe closing a window so you get a squeaky kind of sound, or squeaking a chair or something. I heard a soundtrack from Brian Taylor where he had sampled like the wipers from a car and used that for a song, or sampled the whole car and used a different sound from the car for one of the tracks for Fast and the Furious, obviously. It's a really cool sound there. I hear some like child screams in the background, and I actually have like a monitor here for my son that's sleeping below, so I thought that it was his screaming here into the monitor. Really sinister. Definitely a cool track in contrast to this other orchestral or orchestrated tracks, and we have this with just like a music box and xylophone or something. So it's more of like a sound design kind of experiment, this track. Really cool. Yeah, so after that one we have The First Hunter, and we heard that one. It's a really good track, obviously. People talk about Mergo, but there is also the context of Casquign? Yo player. That's a hard name to say. Yeah. So we have left the Moon Presence and the final track, Bloodborne. I don't think we listened to that one the last time. So yeah, hopefully we have some new people here in watching this live stream. So say hi here in the chat and let me know the hardest game you ever played on the PC or on console. I'd love to hear what you think is a hard game to beat. People mentioned Sekiro and Bloodborne and also Ghosts and Goblins. Yeah, and Elden Ring. Yeah, some French names are a bit hard to pronounce. So let's go for Moon Presence. Yeah, Hollow Knight Silk Song. Man, this is pure malice. You can hear it in this track. You have that really soft introduction to bring down the pulse, and then you go with this really epic pulse and dramatic and malicing and mangling ostinados. Yeah, what a track. Moon Presence. That's a short fight. 20 seconds. Were you OP? Yes, you didn't hear a lot of the music if it only took you 20 seconds to finish that boss. Again, a very epic track and very sinister with the repeating string figures, the ostinatos. The boss was too easy, didn't even get to listen for the music. Yeah, so we have some more suggestions for doing a level 4 only run in Bloodborne right now, and it's turning out to be very difficult. Yeah, I bet Green Lord. I'm having a hard time first playthrough. But yeah, you probably saw I'm streaming a Silk Song. And I've been thinking about doing a second playthrough of Clair Obscure too, because I only saw the first ending with melee. So I'll maybe do a second playthrough and yeah, maybe talk a little bit about my experience of the game throughout the gameplay, because I only streamed my first playthrough of Clair Obscure on Twitch, and yeah, maybe we'll do it here on my main channel. Will you watch some boss fights from Bloodborne to understand more of the whole atmosphere of the game? Old shape, I did play Bloodborne myself, and we have it here in... Oh, not now, the TV has turned off, but I played a few hours of the game, but it's a very hard game, and I don't think I'm gonna stream it. There's been a lot of pushings to get me to stream it, but I have so many other games going at the same time now. Ghost of Tsushima, and I really want to finish that to go into Ghost of Yutei. And we also have Silk Song going on right now. And you all know it's a really hard game. And I'm also playing Cyberpunk 2077. And just like got started with it. And we also have Red Dead Redemption 2. And all of these are very like big games, at least for me. And like Skyrim took 2 years for me to finish. But yeah, you all know there's many like side quests and stuff that you can do in Skyrim. And I'd also love to jump into some of the recreations of, or the remakes of Final Fantasy. Maybe do a Final Fantasy VII remake. Because I only played the original Final Fantasy 6 and 7. Yeah, it's a really nice atmosphere in both Ghost of Tsushima and the Red Dead Redemption. You can really just get lost in the wilderness and go hunting or something. It's very lovely. Subnautica. Yeah. My son's playing Subnautica. Stop spamming. Yeah, we have a bot taking care of the spam cleanup. Right, so what's next? Bloodborne. Oh my! I'm loving this already. Man, I love this when they have this like calm, soothing melody here for the introduction, or like a siren or something. And then you get this malice part, or the sinister part of the track. Da-da-dum, da-dum. Let's listen again here. Really lovely. Really love that melody. Reminds me a little bit of a Horizon Zero Dawn. Maybe it's that that we have that like +5 or minor sixth. Beautiful. Aloy's theme. Anyone played Horizon Zero Dawn? I love the game. I played through, but I didn't play the DLCs or the expansions. Yes. Another favorite. Bloodborne. From disc 2 of the Bloodborne original soundtrack. Yeah, I saw there was some discussion here. If this is the main theme. Yeah, I think this is one from the trailer, I guess. Because I didn't hear this theme before. Oh, there's a live performance of this theme. Need to catch that one. Is it on YouTube? Just love the melody of this one. That's the power of a simple melody. Just use the same melody but orchestrate the melody differently. Hand over the melody between different instruments and maybe change chords and stuff. I'm just changing the minor C chord here into a flat major chord. Or, yeah, we have the C in the bass, so I'm just making the fifth a minor sixth. And it's gonna sound like Batman. And that's actually a little bit... they use this a lot in the Witcher soundtrack, if you listen to this. And that's a tritone in the chord. So I'm playing just a C, a D, and then the G flat and the G. So the C, D and the G flat. Really cool. In the live they meshed the main theme and this one together. Yeah, really cool. I need to catch that one. So you said it's on YouTube. You saw I posted a link on the Planet's Gustav Holst if anyone want to check and look up that one. Let's see here. I'm gonna give a shout out to my brother here, Elrinth. If you want to check out his YouTube channel. He does a lot of like retro gaming videos and retro gaming reviews and stuff. I think he has the biggest like console collection I ever seen in my life. In the live mesh, it's called the Bloodborne Suite. Okay. Yeah, I need to look that one up. And I'll play one of my own tracks while we look up the other track. This is Garlicious from my album Diabolical Lilith, Part 2. Thanks, Kenton. Happy to hear you enjoyed the track. I can talk more about the tracks here from the Diabolical Lilith album later on, but basically this is one of the tracks I wrote for a game project. It was cancelled after a few months, and I actually managed to produce a lot of tracks already, but it was for Paradox Interactive. They have had a game studio here in my hometown, Umeå. You probably know of Paradox Entertainment. So, you can probably guess what kind of game this was supposed to be in. Vampiric. Garlicious. Yeah, I think it's there's some great titles on this album. You have like a Wine and Silent Halls, Chambers of Admantius, Blood Moon Rising over Lake Spire, Etienne Zintus, A Jester Face, Garlicious, Birth of Lilith, Undead Council, Under a Weeping Moon. It's a typical like black metal track names. We Seek Vengeance, Under a Weeping Moon, The Nightly March, Pade Leokn Alucard. Alucard, what's that backwards? Anyone? Alucard. And yeah, I found the live, so maybe we can give it a spin here. The Bloodborne Suite live. Just gonna jump over to another cam. And let's fire this beauty. Yeah, they really get an eerie atmosphere going. Is it the Swedish Philharmonic Orchestra? Yeah. Oh, what a great voice she has. Yeah, they really get the sinister and the menace, the malice through, and all the different cool articulations on the string instruments, on violins and violas and cellos here. The only thing that I feel missing, obviously from this like live recording session here, is the bombastic percussion and more weight in the sound. But that's life with a live concert. But it's a very airy arrangement. Really lovely. Awesome. Yeah, really, she really nailed the vocals. Nice one. Nice one. Yeah.
SF är på plats i Gaza. Och över hela...
Yeah, really cool stuff. Thanks for recommending that one. Get rid of the commercials. Pronto. Yeah, we listen to Living Failures. Hail the Nightmare. Martin Martinez, welcome. Hi there. I have a suggestion from Bloodborne. The soundtrack is called Hail the Nightmare. I think you can listen to Dying Cathedral. Missed it when you played. Hail the Nightmare. Hail, hail the Nightmare. Yeah, I think we listened to that track in the previous live stream. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we covered all the tracks from the Bloodborne soundtrack and the DLC. Skulltone, you don't think so? Yeah, did we skip that one? Hail the Nightmare. Let's see in... yeah, we skipped that one. Why? Beats me. So here's Hail the Nightmare. Let's do this. Really love the question answer between that da, 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 and the female choirs. Very nice contrast. And the female choirs that goes in and out of the pitch, or you have like dissonances going on. Really cool stuff. What a cool voice. Really sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, I really like a messing nightmare. Hail the nightmare. Yeah, really dark and ominous track, that one. Vileblood. Did we also miss that one? And where's that track? Am I blind? What's the track number? Vilebloods. Queen of the Vilebloods. Ah, there. Track 5 on disc 2. Let's take that one. Queen of the Vilebloods. So I guess the Bloodborne soundtrack here is a pure lesson in dissonances, how to do cluster chords, or how to approach using cluster chords in music and dissonances. What a dark track. Now these are the percussion I was talking about during that like live symphonic rendition of Bloodborne. These are like the deep toms or the deep percussion that you miss from many of the like live symphonic concerts. Because it's specialized processed drums. But yeah, you can't have everything. But listening to a live symphonic orchestra in the concert hall, it's really experience. It's really something you have to experience. Because you can feel the air moving. Superb ending on this one too. Really love how they end the tracks really dramatic like that. Yeah, that one was also a very cool track. Ominous. Yeah, so there's a few tracks left that we missed. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't jump around so much in the live streams on the soundtracks. So next up we can take the ROM, the Vacuous Spider. Let's drink the ROM. Some cool stereo panning. They're like using a Leslie effect or something. The whole atmosphere sounds a little bit like the Witcher soundtrack. Except it's a little bit more ominous than the Witcher. Which is more folky. Some really far out there voicings in the chords here. Ganon 4, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I love how they use different cluster chords and voicings and the voice. There's also some voice leading in there, obviously. And yeah. Very ominous. Indeed, it could have been a dungeon theme for Zelda, but the Zelda versions obviously would be a little bit more lighthearted. Or like the Breath of the Wild soundtrack, which is just weird for the most part. Yep. Sinister as hell. Skalton, this is the first time I felt bad killing a spider. She was just trying to help us. Okay, Shelob. Anyone read the Silmarillion? So you know the story behind the Shelob and Shelob's mother. I think it was Shelob's mother or a grandmother who ate the lights of the trees, of the elven trees, who brought the whole land into darkness, and in the darkness bind them. So we had some more tracks we missed. We did ROM the Vacuous Spider, Witch of Hemwick. And that one is on... it's earlier. Yeah. Yeah, I can't recall we did that one too, so... let's jump in and do it. Yeah, it was not on the previous stream. So let's just do it. The Trees of Valinor. I'm actually rereading Silmarillion now, and just to get the vibes for to see how much they changed from the Rings of Power. And yeah, it's really vague in Silmarillion how the story goes, but they really interpreted the story in their own way. But man, anyone trying to watch the new The Witcher with Chris Hemsworth? I don't think he's doing a great job at playing The Witcher. Bring back Cavill. Much better Witcher. Yeah, so we're gonna play The Witch of Hemwick. It's really ominous when you make the strings sound like bees like that, like a swarm. Yeah, it's really a swarm from hell. And there goes the madness. What a track. Swarms and mad choirs. That summarizes the Witch of Hemwick. Some really sinister and ominous and evil tracks here in the Bloodborne soundtrack. Cleric Beast. Yeah, so speaking of horror and horror games, I don't know if I think I talked about this before, but one of my absolute favorite horror game experiences is, it's called Until Dawn. I think it was released around 2015 or something. Let's see here. Yeah. Survival horror drama from 2015. And I think they made a remake, but the original is really awesome. So if you haven't played Until Dawn, highly recommend that game. And please recommend if you have any sweet horror adventure games or other type of games, not just soul games, that you would like to recommend. Let me know here in the chat. Personally, I'm recommending Until Dawn. It's a really sweet experience. Yeah, Outlast. I actually started playing Outlast 2 about a week ago. And man, it's that's also quite the experience. I haven't played it through, but yeah, I might try the first Outlast too. It's really cool that you walk around with the camera and you need to switch batteries, and in order to see in the darkness you have to see through the camera so you can see the infra. Night vision. It's a really cool game idea. And that also has some really menacing music. Micolash's theme. Yeah, it's a lot of chaotic themes in the Bloodborne soundtrack. But yeah, please recommend, and if there's new people in here, say hi in the chat and recommend your favorite adventure horror game, or just any horror game in general. Unseen, your favorite horror game is Amnesia the Bunker. I haven't tried that one. You playing that on the PC or on console? Amnesia the Bunker. Yeah, looks horrifying. Yeah, I really love those games when you really feel alive. Micolash's theme. And yeah, After the One Reborn. Didn't we do that one? Then we need to do that one. Yeah, let's do that one. Sorry, I missed out. My bad. Nightmare Host. Is that me? The Nightmare Host? Missing out on Bloodborne tracks? Okay, let's do it. Micolash. Micolash. Yeah, Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2, Madness. Yeah, it's nice to hear the contrast again compared to the other tracks. It's not just the same instrumentation on all the tracks. On this one, indeed, as Ganon 4 here is saying, we have more piano and less of the overall like string packages, but yeah, cool track so far. I noticed we also missed another track. I think we didn't play off the Pthumerian Line, so maybe we'll do that after this one, but... It's really cool, like unpredictable chord progression, obviously, but then suddenly you get some kind of resolution in there, which is, yeah, not what you expect, or at least not what I expected, but yeah. Yeah, so that's a chase scene. Really sounded like some kind of chase scene, and then at the end you get caught up. Micolash. Maybe it should be called Micolash, because we have a lot of clashes in the chords and the melodies and different intricate instruments doing their own little thing. Evil jazz. That's Bloodborne. Yeah, thanks to all the new subs here. If you're watching this stream or watching the video on demand afterwards, please consider subscribing here to my channel, and also maybe join in on the Discord, where we talk a lot about the music production and just the general music. And I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Gelhain. All the links have been in the description to this video and also in the chat here. So I think we have completed our Bloodborne listening party. Or should we do the Pthumerian Line? Yeah, we did Living Failures in the beginning. Again, a very ominous song here with a lot of blasting choirs and stuff. And we had a lot of like cluster chords and dissonances, tritones, and all these things in the soundtrack. But I've yet to hear some 12-tone composition. You know, if you don't know what 12-tone composition is, look it up on the internet and listen to some 12-tone compositions. It's really some interesting stuff that you can use to convey malice and horror. It's actually a technique developed by Arnold Schoenberg. So look up 12-tone composition if you haven't heard that before. Some really weird stuff. Sounded like you're like descending into some hellish pit of sorts. A little bit of God of War, I think. Thanks for the subs, all the new people here. Ganon 4, this one seems more heavy than the others. Yeah, it's really epic when you have this ongoing pulse. German's theme. Which one was that? Babadoo, dabadoo. Yeah, so it's going to be a huge contrast here going from Bloodborne into Final Fantasy tomorrow. Yeah, so I think we're going to call it for the day here. Had a blast listening to some additional songs here in the Bloodborne soundtrack. I hope everybody's satisfied. And yeah, that you join in tomorrow for some Final Fantasy. Totally different genre, but it's probably going to be a lot of classical music. Yeah, Lullaby for Mergo, blues remix. And like we did here last time, we're going to end... Yes, we'll stream Final Fantasy VII Remake tomorrow. Same time as today, 9 p.m. Central European time. We're going to end with one of my tracks. Let's see if we can end with this one. We're going to end with a track called The Inquisition. Thanks for joining in, guys, tonight. And as always, please leave a like here and comment on my videos. Even if you just want to tell me what's your favorite game and what's your favorite horror game and favorite adventure game or whatever. Or what kind of soundtracks you'd like to see here me react to on the channel. And yeah, if you want to support the channel, also go to my Patreon, patreon.com/Gellane, and join in either as a free or a paid tier. Paid tier obviously helps out to support this channel further. Now we're ending this live stream with The Inquisition from Diabolical Lilith Part 2. This one's gonna hit hard. yeah, so that ends tonight's live stream. Hope you had a nice time, and yeah, leave a like, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of different styles since I composed for different games and stuff. So I did a lot of like progressive rock and metal and death metal and all those kind of genres in the 90s. But then I started making game music around 2003. So after that, it became a lot of different music styles. And then I did this double album with just vampiric and yeah, Track of Darkness. So if you like Bloodborne, you'll probably enjoy these two albums too. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.